And here we are again. Yes, I'm back in Ghana and I live under a flight path. I'm not sure if you're picking up any of that, but it's constant and throughout the day. I think in Accra, obviously, the capital where I'm staying, that's where the airport is at. So we get this all the time. And it's a reminder that I'll soon be jetting back to the UK, but I've got some time here. I've been here just over 3 weeks, and I don't know. This is my second visit in the same year, so it feels. I don't know if it's because I've come back so quickly again after my last visit, and it is the same year. But getting off the plane at the airport here in Ghana, I had the usual excitement. But then I just calmed down and just stood around waiting for my luggage. Like, oh, this is something I do all the time. Sort of something like a sense of the everyday about it. I was trying to say that to my niece who came to pick me up at the airport. I mean, we were just lounging around. We didn't even get back to my accommodation. We just sat at the airport, catching up and having something to eat. Like, oh, what were we saying before we parted last time? It's funny. I don't know. When I was trying to articulate that to somebody earlier, and they said, well, it felt like maybe you just stepped away, from Ghana and now just returned. I said, yeah, perhaps that's what's going on. I sort of rationalizing it because I've come back so quickly in the same year. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Um, Plus, my previous visit it was like what 5 months um, before, and then the one before that was 4 months before I made the one earlier in this year. So yeah, I suppose if you make your trips regularly, think yeah, you have a different perception now. Is it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a sort of shift definitely has occurred, and I'm not articulating it very well, but it felt this is my third visit in 2 years. No, hang on. Hey, let's see, I came last year. No, in a year. What am I talking about? Yeah, third visit in a year. So yeah, that is quite frequent, isn't it? Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Yeah, it just feels different. It feels different this time. It feels more like I'm getting closer to home, um, and I'm staying a little bit longer than last time. So all that helps. But what I've noted this time is that my ga has improved dramatically. I cannot more or less hold a conversation, and even if I can't, I can understand a lot of what's being said. But if they use big words, I get stuck because my vocabulary is that of a 9-year old, and that's the age I was when I left. So if adults are using big, large words and that, I just thought, well, sorry, you're still speaking the same language? I've come across that a couple of times and had to have the word explained to me, sort of thing. Um, yeah, that aside, I'm just chilling, having a good time. Um, I'm not feeling great at the moment, but sadly, I seem to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be a visit to Ghana if I don't have a cold. Each time I've come and stayed a lengthy period, I've had a cold or something, and I choose to record this talking head when I'm not feeling great. But I feel like I really should you know express how I'm feeling at the moment. Yeah, it feels different. Definitely feels different. Definitely feels more like home. I don't know how many more visits it'll feel like before it's like water off a duck's back. But I mean, these trips are costly, so I don't know. Maybe after this one, there will be a lengthier gap because you know, not that wealthy to keep making these trips. But let's see. Right now, this is my third visit, as I said. In the same year, really, in a space of 12 months, roughly. Yeah, I've had three visits, and I always try to time it, one of the visits for Homowo. Unfortunately, even though I arrived even earlier this year for Homowo, through miscommunications and stuff like that, I wasn't able to go to the ceremonies like I did last year. If you remember, last August, I uploaded um, one of the Homowo ceremonies I went to in my neck of the woods where I grew up in La. And I wanted to go to that again just to see if the same is exactly the same ceremony and all that. My niece told me while I was in the UK how they had the stool ceremony, and that's something I missed last year. I didn't even think what it was. I didn't appreciate what it was. How they, excuse me for blinking. Fly was just trying to go straight into my eyes, and it's back again, ruining my filming. Forgive me. But hey, let's keep it all rough and ready. I am a filmmaker. Normally, I would cut things like this out, but for the sake of this particular documentation of my visit to Ghana, I'm keeping it real. So, um, it's not gonna be so like polished, but I wanted to feel like an ordinary, vlogs of sorts. Um, so yeah, my niece was telling me how they got the stool and they were parading it, through the area. I mean, I forgot what she called it, but I thought, okay, oh, I missed that. Bad timing because I was still in the UK. I didn't know that happened earlier before the major ceremony. But I'll make sure I get to the major ceremony like I did last year. No, um, unfortunately, yeah, I don't know what happened. I think just the communication between me and my niece, and trying to get hold of her, and I couldn't reach her and everything. And by the time we did get our acts together, we'd missed it. We ended up like in the evening, just out of the bars. But yeah, I mean, because it was Homo was effectively finished now. But last week, but my God, my old street was rammed. Honestly, rammed. You couldn't move. It was almost like the Charlie Watte festival. That's another thing I went to a couple of weeks ago, and I felt like my life was under threat with the um, trying to just navigate your way through the crowds and stuff. It was just over attended and smaller space. Last year when I went, they allowed you to wander through the square, the Independence Square. This time they just given the festival like a little section, a little strip near Independence Square. I mean, the square itself was empty. It's a huge space, but it was empty. I don't know what happened. That last year we were allowed to, stage everything there and all that. This time it was a little strip, and it was a narrow little strip. And it's just, too small for all the people. But anyway, yeah, that was, it was a little bit like that in my old street and La, where the Homo festivities were still going on. So even though we didn't make that earlier ceremony like I filmed last year, we did enjoy the nightlife. But I'm glad that at least I saw last year's version, so not all was lost. Um, yeah, so one of the things that I did do this year that I didn't do last year during Homo Walk Festival was eat quickly. Now, quickly is like the manna from heaven or manna from the gods. It's yellow and it's made from maize, really. And oh my gosh, it's a lengthy procedure to make. And I was hoping to go and attend my family house, making their own. Everybody does it, but I didn't appreciate that is something you do at night. I was like, what? Um, I thought I schlep on down there in the afternoon, and maybe if permitted, take a few shots of how it's all made. And I was sitting there waiting for my elderly aunt to ring me, and again, communication breakdown. I don't know what's going on. We spoke earlier in the day, and she said once I get to the venue, I will call you and you can come down rather than you just turning up and hanging around waiting. I waited and waited and waited and waited, and I had an early morning meeting the following day. So I was like, please call soon because I have to go to bed if I want to rise early for the Zoom meeting. And literally by like it was 8 coming up for 9. I thought, oh, I'm gonna give it up, and that's when she rings me like, "Where are you?" I thought, "What, woman? I was waiting for you to ring me and tell me what time to come down because I thought you'd be here by now." I'm not. Oh, I didn't even want to, being an elderly aunt. I didn't want to be disrespectful. Like you did say to me, when I get there, I will call you and let you know to come down. So anyway, unfortunately, I missed that. Doing well, missing things, right? Um, but they did do it, and my cousin took some shots himself, but he's not a filmmaker. So when I was looking at it, I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to try and somehow, I thanked him and sort of, I would try and use it, the way he's shot, just so at least you can see what goes on, if it's possible, because the way it was shot is the camera moves too much, so I was having difficulty following it, but it's still nice. I'm gonna try and add some here, um, and tag it on the end of this video, if it's still usable. It's pretty dark at night. The quick play is made at night, um, all through to the small hours, and it's all part of the ceremony and custom. And then quickly it's eaten in the morning because I said, oh, okay, I'm not going to be able to attend it now. It's so late as I've got an early morning meeting, but I'll come down and have some in the afternoon when I finished my meetings. They said, oh no, it's eating in the morning and all that. So you have to come down in the morning to eat some. Oh, this is all going so wrong. Anyway, so I said, okay, not this year then. I'm not going to get upset about it. But then my niece, who kind of didn't sort of follow tradition 100%, I ended up getting some, from her family house, when they were just decided to have a street party, you know, eating pickle, and the pickle you have it with, oh gosh, what's the soup? It is soup, and I must admit I'm not a fan of mixing stuff like that with soup. I just never been really, and the soup is, oh, palm nut soup. It's kind of like red. Yeah, I think it's made of palm nut soup. Yeah, I like the soup itself. I like pickle. Just don't like the two together. But I did my best to eat some, and it was too hot for me. I don't want to come across as a princess, but I've never liked really, really, really hot food. When you eat and you're just coughing and drinking water and or looking a little unattractive. So yeah, I did that a couple of like, times, a couple of spoonfuls. I was like, oh my god! I started coughing and drinking water, and she was just looking at me like, "What is going on with you?" And I said, "I'm sorry, I can't eat this." Tried out one more mouthful. I said, "No, sorry, I'm gonna have to give it up." But anyway, enjoyed the party instead, and had a few drinks. Like literally, an impromptu street party. I said, "Oh, so what? Did you like talk to your neighbors and say that between these hours and that hours, this road will no longer be accessible and stuff like that?" She's looking at me like, "What's the matter with you?" I went, "Oh, well, you just decided you're going to have this party?" And so people who live down the road or people who use that street as a route to wherever they're going, they just turned up and it's like, boom, nope, can't go any further until this party finishes. Like, oh my god. Yeah, imagine doing that in the UK if it's not a special occasion and pre-arranged with the council and what have you. You should have the cops breathing down your neck and breaking things up. But yeah, so we just had this party and people just come as far as they could with their cars and then stopped, or turned away. Oh, one poor guy. I was watching it, drove into the gutter. Remember, I said that the gutters are uncovered here in Ghana. It was when I left 50 years ago. and nothing's changed there. That surprised me. Yeah, it was driving night. It must happen all the time. So it's dark, no street lights except for the lights coming from, our party, and that we put some lights up. And I don't know if he was trying to avoid the speakers or not, because we had massive speakers in the street and all that. Whatever he was doing, boom, I was watching it and I thought, no, 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 yes, he did it. But would you believe the guys from the party like just put their glasses down and that and just went to his aid, stopped dancing or whatever, went to his aid, lifted the car out, was like, yeah, all right, cheers, all got back to drinking and dancing again. So yeah, I mean that was a good night. And I've managed to eat picnic twice. Another family invited me to come and eat some. So anyway, now at least I remember the taste of picnic, together with the soup. Luckily, the second attempt wasn't so hot, so I managed to get a load down me. So that is a tradition and something I did remember actually as a child. And I remember, some of the, I don't know, community elders and stuff, what they would do, and they would be kind of like scattering it. I remember that was coming to me. Yeah, and how I can't remember, was feeding the ancestors or something. If you remember, I said Homo War is a celebration of a great harvest, because the Ga clan and people, collective, etc., experienced some famine, and after prayers and to the ancestors and God and everything, finally, there was a good abundant harvest. So it's since then it's been more like a thanksgiving, for food and life and sustenance and stuff. So you always partake, when you're partaking of it, you also share with the ancestors who helped bring about the end of the famine and that. So anyway, I got a load of quickly, doing a lot of partying again, but this time I'm taking it slow. I went to the Gar Club. I'm trying to expand my network of people here, meeting fellow creatives and all that. And I don't know, managed to sweet talk my way into, because the Gar Club, sorry, not Gar Club, Ghana Club. Oh, God, I always think that whenever I see Ghana, I think Ghana. But anyway, yeah, so we went there, Ghana Club, which has a colonial sort of history and stuff like that, that maybe I might get into one of these days. But we went there, and I thought, oh, okay, I can get in without being signed in and all that. But it's because one of the guys who invited us, has been doing that for years and that. So, I don't know, somebody, a regular can walk you in and stuff like that. So sat around and, got to hear more about the history of the place. And also, there was an exhibition nearby, which is really like a street exhibition of James But. Oh God, I should have written his name down. We all know James Barner. The first sort of like prolific and well-known photographer after independence here in Ghana. Yeah, one of the people I know, creatives I know here, has done like a curated a exhibition of his work all around Accra. So it's like, rather than being, shut away in a gallery somewhere, he put it out in the streets for everybody to enjoy. So, I was going around looking at that, because there's some littered around the Ghana Club as well, sort of thing. Yeah, so really cool, and managed to see Jamestown as well. But what I'm finding is, as soon as you come, I still stand out like a sore thumb. I think people just know if you're not a local or regular. I mean, I'm born here, Ghanaian and everything, but people know, and they approach you. And what was getting me down this time is the constant approaches for money and stuff. Before I was doing it and not really thinking about it, but this, I don't know, this time it's been, I don't know, it's quite a lot. It's like every day I go out, you can't escape it. And the one that was really getting to me is more and more than my children now that are doing it. So now I'm being selective as to who I give to, because it was getting me down a bit. I was getting a bit depressed and a little bit irritated as well, if I'm honest. Yeah, that I couldn't, you can't walk for being approached. So I just think when I see the children come to me, then I stop and give to the children, and that. But kind of some of the adults and that, and they're just like on you. This guy he was walking with me, trying to almost steer me towards what he wanted and all that. And I didn't know how to politely say, please go. I just wanted to take some shots and just look around and relax and connect with the place. But I had these constant, people grabbing my attention, well, obviously just wanting funds and that. And it really wore me down. I don't know what it was. It really wore me down. I was like, I want to go home. One guy, it got so bad. I was in Jamestown trying to look at this street exhibition that my friend had curated and everything, and take some shots myself, and just let the place wash over me and stuff like that. I couldn't get any further than taking a picture of the palace there, and then this guy came from nowhere because I was taking shots, but I don't know, maybe I stood out. And for the next 15 minutes, commandeered my body, my attention, my energy, everything. It was really like that. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that. I just, I made up a lie and left, because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Because even though he was telling me some local history, which I appreciated, he wanted it on his own terms, and he was like, "This is what you must do. You must do this. Come over here, da 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 da," sort of thing. And I'm like, "Yes, yes, yes. Thank you now, but thank you for the information. But now I just kind of like want to do my own thing, and then I'll come back to you." But he was trying to get me into a space. I don't know if perhaps I was picking up some negative vibes or something. I was like, do you know what? I need to lose this guy. But he was insisting, go over there, come over here with me. And in the end, I thought, no, no, do you know what I mean? No. So visit to Jamestown, Old Town. It was called Old Accra. I went there by myself. Yeah, this is how bold I'm getting. And it was raining. I thought, yeah, I brought some good old British weather with me. It's been overcast and raining a lot here, which made me think like I was back in Britain. But yeah, I went to Jamestown by myself, and it wasn't such a positive experience because of the attention I was getting and everything else. But otherwise, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I saw a new part of Accra that I'd never seen. I've seen other people posting stuff on YouTube, but seeing it for myself, it's actually quite different. Seeing it for your with your own eyes, how the place had deteriorated. The shots I seen, I don't know if they were old archive footage or something, because it looked newer, brighter, and everything. This looked dirty, unkempt, old. It did look like old Accra, that is seeing its better days. And even the one thing the guy did, the one that just would not leave me alone, that what he told me that I appreciated was he pointed out the prison where Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, was imprisoned. God, the place is ramshackle, sort of. Ugh. And he was telling me how there are dungeons and stuff and tunnels underneath there and all that. Well, what? I mean, that's something I would like to see, but I would need to take a couple of people with me. So come, we can show you, take you around. I don't think so. Maybe another time. Bye bye. But anyway, I'm going to share all that. So to recap, wow, this is one of my longest talking heads here. To recap, yeah, it feels like home this time. Something has shifted. I don't know what. Could it be that I've come back so quickly, twice in 1 year, or because my last 3 visits have all taken place, in a year, basically. Um, feels like home. Until the next upload. Thank you for watching. And as promised, here's some amateur footage taken by my cousin and his friend. This is our family preparing quickly late at night, which I missed. But thanks to him, I can at least see what went down.
Yes.
And a family member expressing the same sentiments that I thought as I watched this footage. She was telling the cameraman, "Why are you shooting us from the back? Come round here." Hey, but at least I have this footage because I didn't make it down there.